But what we've seen is that the US, the UK and Western Europe have literally fallen off the edge of a cliff in March. That weakness is likely to continue through the second quarter. There is now a big policy response. So the hope is, and indeed my expectation is, that while Q3 will also be weak, we're likely to see some sort of recovery before the end of this year. So a global recession hitting hard now and likely to remain hard and tough for some months to come yet.
Let's start with the United States, please. The 17 million people have applied for welfare benefits in the United States this week. More than 10 million are unemployed. Many projections are that the Great Depression, 25% unemployment, that figure will be surmounted. And on the principle that, as we saw in the 1930s, when America catches cold, the rest of the world catches pneumonia. What's the impact of the American economic downturn going to be?
Well, I think you're right to say that when the US, the world's biggest economy, is hit so hard, it has a global impact. What's happening at the moment is that even though China is past the worst, it seems, we've pretty much had a synchronized collapse in the advanced economies. Now, the good news, if one can call it that, is that the US, in policy terms, have responded pretty aggressively and very quickly. So even though that will not stop US unemployment rising significantly, and while that will not stop a US recession, at least the good news is that the US policy response has been pretty significant. I would tend to call the US response the three U's rather. Unconventional, it's been unlimited, particularly from the Federal Reserve, the central bank, and it's been pretty urgent. They've responded pretty well. But coming back to your question, George, there's no doubt that the US downturn, while obviously hitting the US hard, will reinforce the global downturn, particularly in the next 3 to 4 months.